Hey, it's Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023. Wow, it's going by quick, everybody. Welcome back to part two of the University of Idaho. Bryan Kohberger, did we miss something? Let's go back, way back in time and see if we can find something that we may have missed again. There's so much to cover, folks. It's going to take a couple days. What do you say we get this show on the road? I think we should. See you soon. Hello. What is wrong with my camera? Why am I so... What is this all about? Yo. What the heck is going on, everybody? Hello. Let me check. Maybe that's the problem. Hey, is that better? Maybe. I hope. It's a crappy definition, but whatever. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever it may be. I hope it's good for you because it's good for me. Good to see you guys. I appreciate you guys joining me again today. As always a pleasure to be here with you all and to have you all here with me. What's up, everybody? Let's see who we have in chat so far. We got Lance. What's up, big guy? How are you? Heather Lauer, my little sister's in the house. What's up, sis? Good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Miss Cece, the sweetest lady on the internet. Good golly, Miss Molly's in the house. Good to see you, my dear. Miss Clarissa Hendershot. Thanks for joining us today, Clarissa. Good to see you. Let me see. Mrs. M, always happy to see you, my dear. Always a pleasure. Strike first, strike hard. Little brother, how are you today? Good to have you. Good to see you. Let me see. Miss Brandy, always happy to see you, my dear. Thank you for joining us. Holy crap, folks. Red's actually in the chat today, not just lurking. Good to see you, Red. Thanks for joining us, bro. And I think that's it for right this moment. Hold on. Let's see. Night Nurse 71, thank you so much for joining us. It's so great to see all the newer people coming in here today and yesterday, guys. Yesterday we had a huge crowd in here, and I am so grateful. 168 people in chat at one given time. 1,143 views while we were live, guys. It was absolutely amazing, and I am beyond grateful to all of you, and I thank you all so very much. Guys, on your way in the door, do me a favor and leave a little DNA on that like button. Please, if you would, share this out to your friends, your neighbors, your family, your dogs, your cats, the milkman. I don't care. Share it to whoever you can. T2014's in the house. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Mikey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. And guys, don't forget, at the very end of the show, if you would, please leave comments. This is the stuff that YouTube likes, guys. They want it shared out, they want it liked, and they want comments. Please do it if you should. If you could, if you would, if you will. I appreciate you so very much. Miss Pink is in the house. Buenos dias, Senor Diego. Well, buenos dias, Senorita. Pink to you as well. Thank you for being here with us once again. And congratulations again for becoming the moderator yesterday. Clarissa, so good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Great to have you here. I wonder if we're going to catch the crowd we had yesterday, guys. That was exciting. Unexpected. We got to get those likes up. That's what happens, guys. And I think that's where everybody came from yesterday. Once we get the likes up, Miss Courtney Mickle, I hope I'm saying it right. Welcome. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me today. Sorry. I lose track of my days, nights, whatever it is. It is what it is. Come on in, everybody. Grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on in. Sit down and have a conversation with me. I know I'm a cornball. It's okay. I like being corny. It's all good. It's Michael, Courtney Michael. Okay. Good. Great to have you here. Either way, Courtney, I appreciate you. Again, guys, for those of you that have been here, all you meatballs, please be sure to welcome all the new people as we do. Make them feel at home and comfortable. Oh, I remember who you are because you are from, or your father's from where I'm from. So, yes, ma'am, I absolutely remember. Kind of lurking today is my birthday. Happy birthday, brother, man. Good to see that. Hope you're having a great day. No worries, bro. You do what you got to do. Today's your day. You don't have to be here. You don't need to be here. Obviously, you're here because you want to be here, but either way, happy birthday, brother. I hope you have the best day you can. Let me see here. Anybody else popping in here? Not as of yet. I'm very proud to be a moderator. They did absolutely, and I'm very proud to have you as a moderator, Pink. I hope you enjoy it, and I know you'll do well. Yes, happy birthday to our brother Red. Hope you're having a great day, my friend. I do. You deserve it. I think that's it. Well, how are you even doing that, Mama Bear? You can't help yourself, can you? She can't help herself, folks. She's cheating. Miss Lena's in the house. Good to see you. Mama Bear's cheating. She's at work, folks, and she's still in here. How about that? If that ain't dedication, I don't know what it is. Thanks all. Yeah, I'm just trying to veg out today, but they won't leave you alone. Well, it's your birthday, brother. People love you. That's how it works. That is how it works. Mama Bear. She couldn't help herself, guys. She's got to make sure I'm not screwing everything up. You know that. And she's at work. How about that one? Because she knows I'll do it. With her not here, she knows I'll do something, make some kind of mistake. I can't not function correctly. That's all right. I got Molly and Brandy and Cece, and I can go bank on Red. It's his birthday. He don't need to do nothing. And I also got Pink now. And if Miss April would show up, she might be surprised. We got Strike First. I got all my mods in here. Evie Marie, welcome back. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Yes, it is. It is so big. We had to add on more people. I'm just teasing you, Mama Bear. I know that. She just misses us all, guys. That's what it is. That's all it is. Come on in, everybody. 31 people in here. Please, on your way in, make sure you leave some DNA on that like button. Like me if you love me. Don't like me. I don't care. Just leave me some like on that button, please. I appreciate it. You and all this Spanish, Pink, I'm going to end up knowing Spanish by the end of the month. Police, I think that's Spanish. Police Cumpleaños. Feliz Cumpleaños, if I'm saying that right. I don't know. Alexis Hensley, thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you. Good to have you here. But see, that's what happens, guys, with you guys hitting that like button every day when I ask you to do that. Eventually, like I said, I think we broke through the algorithm yesterday and actually got out there where everybody wants, types it in. They can find us then. Makes you guys are very nice to Red today. It is his birthday, guys. Miss Life, Love, and True Crime. Thank you for joining us today. By the way, again, meatballs. There was quite a few newer people yesterday. We may have that many today, so please be, as we always are, very polite and welcoming to every one of them, please. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you, Miss Molly. I appreciate you, darling. Guys, this channel is 100% crowdfunded. If anybody should choose to donate to support the channel, it is very appreciated. I do have a Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App up there for that reason, as well as, of course, the super chats and the super stickers. Do not feel as if you have to do it. It is just an option for everybody to help support the channel, and it is appreciated once again. You'll be having tostadas during intermission. Absolutely. I love that stuff. Don't get me wrong. My wife thinks she's Mexican, I think, because she'd eat Mexican food every day if she could. My sister is the same way, and she's the one that's in chat here. Lovely new people. Awesome. Absolutely. We love having new people to add to the family here. We absolutely do. 30 peeps. That's 30 likes. Hit it up, folks. Hit it up. Hit it up. Again, everybody, as I said, we're going into part number 2 of what yesterday's show was all about. We're revisiting, I guess you could say again, Moscow, Idaho, and the University of Idaho murders. The sad scenario that it is, but with everything new that's been popping up recently, I think we need to go back and see what we could have missed. Most absolutely. By the way, guys, just so nobody gets confused, the Heather Lauer in chat is not the Heather moderator that was in here. That is my actual biological sister. So please be nice. Treat her right, as we do with everyone. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Bongo. Bongo, the twerking money dog. Love it, love it. Thank you so much, Bongo. I appreciate you so very much. That's awesome. I love it. 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 That's awesome. Bongo, the twerking money dog. That is it right there. That made my whole day. Just the name alone. That's absolutely amazing. Give me one moment here. I didn't think to set that up too. 1 second, buddy. 1 second. You gotta love Bongo. Sneakers only for $1. Gotta love Bongo. Gotta love Bongo. I just love the name in general, period. All right, Bongo, and I thank you once again for that. It is so very appreciated once again. Thank you so very much for that. Get out of here, Red. Get out of here. My family loves me, and I love them. She got the day off today. She's lucky. Lucky. She's a hard worker, folks. She is a hard worker. She works the same place Mrs. Dago works. They work their behindies off, deserve days off here and there, especially this one in here. She breaks her butt, always does. She picks up all the extra hours she can and is always working. So good for you, sis. I'm glad you got a day off. I really love that. That is absolutely hilarious. Bongo, the twerking money dog. I have never seen that before. That's great. Thank you so much. Come on in, everyone. Get comfortable. Find a seat. Again, like I said, grab your coffee, tea, whatever it may be. Come on in, sit down, and have a conversation with me. And there is plenty to talk about. I can promise you that much. Plenty to talk about. And there I am. It's good to have you all back. For those of you that were here yesterday, again, thank you all. Well, for those of you that joined me last night for the true story behind the movie The Good Nurse, quite a story, folks. Quite a story. But thank you for joining me last night. And thank you for joining me today. I appreciate that. Boone's in the house. Good to see you, my dear. Thanks for joining us. Let's see here. Question. I'm sorry to hear that, sis. Your back's bothering you still. I know. It sucks because what you guys do. Let's see here. Not so serious question. Was Bryan Scooby-Doo Spider-Man clad in all black or Hulk? Gotta have something fishy on this. Good question, JX. Good question. Is my dear sister also a bookworm? I don't know. Heather, do you still read? I don't know. Not so much, probably. She never has time, guys. She's always working. That's all she does. Yeah. Great movie, crazy story. 100%, sis. 100%. It is so great to see you, Boone. We don't get to see you too often in the early afternoons as we used to. It's great to have you here, though. Oh, man. I got to do this every day now. Hold on, folks. I got to set something again. The computer does not want to cooperate with me. All right. All right. And all right. There we go. Yeah. I can't read anymore, guys. It puts me to sleep. I pick up a book, I start to read it, I get into maybe a half a chapter and I'm sound asleep because I'm old. What happens when you get old? All right, guys, listen. I think I fixed from the other day when the ads were coming in like one after another. Okay. I hope and I think I fixed it. If you see an ad, let me know. But if there's like too many of them, let me know and I'll go in and try to lock it out again. Thank you, Miss Brandy. I do appreciate you so very much. Once again, I do like John Patterson. Oh yeah. I'm a Stephen King fan myself, and I do like and always have liked. I don't know. I love mysteries, horrors, all that good fun stuff. Crime novels, you know how that stuff goes, guys. You need the blue light glasses, the True Crime Cafe with Dago because you're on a computer so much. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, Molly. All right, Miss Cece. I don't know how you're here. Cece didn't even sleep last night. She's still here, guys. Again, 38 beautiful people here, guys. Once again, for those of you jumping in now, please make sure you leave some DNA on that like button for me. I appreciate that so very much. I definitely do. Let me see here. Mystery thrillers. Yes, my sister and I are a lot alike. We love our thrillers and our mysteries and our crimes and our horror stuff. We always have. We got that from our father. Our father was a huge horror fan. We grew up watching that stuff and reading that stuff. He would get books and I would steal them and read them and all his Stephen King stuff. So yeah. I don't know what's going on with that. Nikki had a problem with that yesterday too. Life, love, and true crime. Thank you, Booney. I appreciate that so very much. You know what's weird is I've never gotten to read any of the Patterson books, but I've always heard that they're like absolutely amazing stories. James Patterson. Let me see here, folks. Do I have it? Where did it go? I will find it. Give me a moment, everybody, as we're still waiting for some peeps to flow in here. 40 people in here, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Come on in, everybody. Wow, where did it go? Did I lose that already? That's not cool. Come on, come on. Let's see. It is great to see you in here, Boone. We miss you. Great to see you back. I'm just trying to find where we left off yesterday, guys, so I can pick it up from there and move along. Just bear with me. We'll be started here in a moment. There's a couple of things I want to look at specifically, too, because I have some curiosity about it. Yeah, I saw it posted yesterday. Robert England is doing one. Yeah, I seen that too, Heather. I mean, how many more can we go through? Seriously, it's about time to be done with that series. I just watched the brand new Scream movie. No, it's not JX. I don't like it because they've gone so far away from the story now that it's not the same story anymore at all. There's nobody in it other than Gale Weathers that was in the original series. So I'm just not into it anymore. They went too far with a lot of the paranormal channel should be starting up within the next week or so, Boone. I have so much going on with this and then the evening thing and then that too. So I got to go, when I can do it, I got to do it. I got the name set up. For those of you that are interested in it, there's a secondary channel that's coming out from here, and it's going to be called The Paranormal Experience with the Dago. And it's devoted to solely nothing but paranormal stuff. But it will be here soon, I hope. Maybe this is it here. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Okay. So yesterday, we tried to get into it, and we watched some kind of a look into the investigation the first few days, and as we did, things were being brought up because I like to stop and talk about specific parts of the investigation that I'd either agree, disagree with, have issues. And we started making a list. Mama Bear was making a list yesterday for sure of the things that we have problems with and the things that we're going to delve into a little bit deeper once again, because that's what we do. And okay. I'm kind of lost on what you two are talking about, but okay. And we left off at some welcome, Nikki. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us today, dear. I'm here. Good to have you here, hon. Thanks for being here today with us again. And we are at 46 folks today, guys. And that is still absolutely amazing. And I am eternally grateful to all of you for what you guys do for this channel and for being here to support this and be a part of this as we do what we do. Everybody says hello to Miss Nikki. I love how you guys are so sociable with each other. Just makes me feel all sweet and happy inside, Just kidding. I mean, I do love it. I'm just being a little weird, that's all. And we got Boone back in here today. Mom Bear. You kill me, Mama Bear, I swear. She said it. I don't want to go, but I gotta go, and she's still here either way. And that's what I love. You guys all rock. We're missing Miss April. I wanted to surprise her today, but Miss Sherry, never late. Don't worry about that. Good to see you. Miss Donna Bayhurst, thank you for joining us today. Good to see you. This is why I kind of hang out and we talk a little, guys, to make sure everybody that wants to be here is here so that they catch everything. Boone is saying hugs and kisses, Mama Bear. Hugs and kisses. Let me make sure that the I still can't get past that bongo. That was cute. For those of you that are just jumping in, I don't want anybody to get confused. The name in chat that says Heather Lauer is not Heather the moderator. That's Heather, my sister, my biological sister. So be kind, be nice, and that's for those of you that just jumped in. Miss Sherry says, "Oh, is it going to show? Maybe. Hold on." Miss Sherry says, "My family, hello, love, love, love." Mike says, "Trigger warning." Trigger warning. Who's triggered, Mikey? Smoking Mirrors, welcome back. Seen you in here yesterday. I love your little picture. I remember saying that. Hello, found the channel yesterday, and I really enjoyed your content. Also, everyone's conversations in chat. I'm also a shy person, so I hope no one minds. My comments are rare. It's absolutely fine. That's what this channel is all about. You can talk all you want. You can never talk if you don't want to. You have every right to every opinion, thought, theory, expression you want in here, and you will never be judged, looked at, talked down to, any of that. So thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate you all. Anybody that has recently subscribed, thank you so very much. Again, on the way in the door for people that, I know I say this so much, but on the way in the door for everybody that is newer, please leave a little DNA on the like button. Hit the like button. Share this out to anybody you can think of today. Boone. And please, please, at the end of the show, if you don't mind, because YouTube wants it so bad, please leave me some comments in the comment section. And are you going to do any polls today? I can take a poll today. Booney wants to dance, everybody, so we got to do polls somewhere along the lines. I got a couple I can do. Hello, random, but I didn't I read somewhere that Bryan in the shrooms for a while? Yes, you did. I saw that as well. Trigger warning for me, huh? All right. You ain't gonna get me to dance on no pole, that's for sure. All right, folks. Okay, for those of you that were not in here yesterday, well, it shouldn't take that long. I'm gonna go back. Heather, my sister, wasn't in here, and a couple other. Booney wasn't here. So what I'll do is I'll start this video part from the beginning, but I'm not gonna stop it like I did yesterday and talk about everything, and then I'll catch us up to where we're at. These are it's an in-depth look at the first few days of the investigation. Let's not talk about that, Miss Brandy. We're doing something right now, so we're not going to get into that, okay? Dear, thank you. So I'm gonna start this video from the beginning that we tried to watch yesterday, and we'll get rolling. Like I said, I'm not gonna stop and talk about everything I did yesterday, okay? But once we get up to the point where we are right now, I'll start talking about it again. That way I can catch. Welcome, Kiki. Good to see you. We can catch Boone and my sister and anybody else up that was not in here yesterday, and anybody that might be out there lurking, watching that way. And we appreciate you, by the way, as well, too. Anybody that's not in chat and you're just watching, thank you so much for being here. So once again, folks, you know how it goes. Let me know how the audio is and make sure that I'm doing it right. What is shrooms? Mushrooms, he and weed. It was legal. Yeah, it's legal. And mushrooms are actually legal in Colorado now, too. It's kind of crazy. But it was said that he was doing mushrooms for a while. I don't know how true that is, but it was said. All right. I hope everything's going well with you, Kiki, and your husband. I hope you guys are feeling well. Oh, no. Look at that. Now Mrs. Dago's in the house as well. The gang, the whole family's here. That's no problem, Evie. Welcome, darling. Good to see you, my dear. Thank you for joining us today. Your sister-in-law's up there in chat, too. Boy, I'm a popular guy today. It's exciting. I get to see my wife and my sissy. Welcome, Pamela. Thanks for joining us today. How's things over the pond today? How's the weather? Hope everything's great. All right, all right. Back to the beginning, everybody. I hope you're having a good day, hon. Well, we are. Oh, we are. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. All right, folks. Let's get this show on the road. Again, as I said, for anybody that is newer in here, what we're doing is going back kind of the beginning and seeing if there's anything that we missed with this case, okay? And if there is, of course, we're trying to catch attention to it, and so on and so forth. What did you say here, Red? Pretty sure I remember seeing two girls that disappeared in PA having shrooms tattoos. Because back then I was thinking possibly someone that worked in a tattoo shop. Yeah, very, 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 very possible. Very possible, my friend. Again, don't forget about it, because you can forget about it. Nothing comes off the table with this case, guys, at this point. Nothing. Nothing at all. As we saw, there's documentation that was put up yesterday that Mr. Steve is tired of keeping his mouth shut, and he wants, that's another part I was going to tell you guys about. There's a motion put through. He wants the gag order removed. He wants to be able to talk. And I don't blame him, because there's a lot to talk about. And I think if he gets that gag order killed, it's on, folks. It's on. Everything that nobody knows, everybody's going to know. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of stuff going on that is being swept under the rug, that's being held down, that needs to come out. And Steve's all about that, because he wants true justice for his daughter just as much as we do. Because again, guys, we are the voice for the voiceless. If we don't do it and he don't do it, who's going to do it? Nobody, because obviously LE's not doing their job with it. So, and he should. I agree with you 100%, Donna. He should definitely be able to talk. Any one of these family members for these kids should be able to say whatever the hell they want. They lost their children, their brothers, their sisters. No, it shouldn't be. Shh, don't talk about it. Shh, don't talk about it. Why? What is it? Is it making it hard for law enforcement to do their jobs? Because, in my opinion, they didn't do it that well anyway. Oh, hey, I do want to take a second to say quite loudly and publicly, I was wrong about my shell art being someone else. That person was just duping her. Sadly so, Michelle. I am so very sorry. Okay. I'm a little confused, but so be it. So be it. And I'm sure that person appreciates that, Nikki. No worries. Well, no, it's two different things, Brandy. We'll see. We'll see, though. They're saying it's two different things. I don't know, because they're being real sneaky about a lot of stuff. They have this secret grand jury thing that they put up a motion for, to try to sneak in and do it underneath everybody's nose and get it, that way nobody knows what the hell's going on. And then we can't get the truth, which is what we need, because we haven't gotten it yet. So at that point, and you guys know I'm irritated with this. This has been nothing but a bunch of bullshit, and it's just, I'm over it. Okay. Good to go, Nikki. As long as you're good with your situation, that's all that matters, dear. It's all that matters. Okay. What's up, Transporter? Good to see you. Another one from over the pond. Good to have you here again. Yes, Brandy, they are. All right. Okay. All right, here we go. Guys, again, if there's any issues about what the hell? 1 second, I gotta make this sure that this is at the beginning once again. Where are we at here? Okay. If there's any issues with audio or anything, guys, please yell at me and I will fix it. And we're off. Thank you, Brandy dear.
I've been here in Moscow on scene since about 3 p.m. Since I've been here, I've watched Moscow police cars come in and out of this neighborhood.
Absolutely,
Officials found
Sherry.
4 people dead. Neighbors say they began noticing police cars flood the area around 12 p.m. today. Moscow police say they responded to a call here on King Road for an unconscious individual. Upon further investigation, officials found 4 people dead. While police investigated the scene, the University of Idaho enacted a shelter-in-place alert as university officials reported a homicide near campus. As we've stated, that alert is lifted at this time. Neighbors say most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students, but we do not know the identities of those involved or who lives at the residence. Officials are investigating. This is a very much developing situation, and we will continue to stay on the grounds until we have more information to report back to you. Until then, in Moscow, Janelle Finch, Krem 2 News.
So police still have this house here near University of Idaho taped off. This right here is where officers found 4 bodies yesterday. We now know the names of those 4 students. They were 20-year-old Ethan Chapman from Conway, Washington, 21-year-old Madison Mogan from Coeur d'Alene, 21-year-old Kaylee Goncalves from Rathdrum, Idaho, and 20-year-old Dana Kernodle from Avondale, Arizona, and they were all University of Idaho students. Here's a breakdown of the timeline from what we know so far. Around 1 p.m., we heard reports of a homicide investigation near the college campus. An hour later, the school put out an alert on social media. It said Moscow PD is investigating a homicide on King Road. They asked the community to stay away from the area and shelter in place as a precaution. Around 3 in the afternoon, Krem 2 arrived in Moscow. Neighbors said most people living in this area are a part of U of I Greek life or are students. At around 5 in the evening, the Moscow Police Department confirmed they had found 4 people dead, but it wasn't until late last night that they confirmed those victims were students. The university also said Moscow police do not think there's any active threat at the moment as they continue their investigation. Classes for University of Idaho students are canceled for the day. They say they will resume classes tomorrow. In Moscow, Nicole Hernandez, Krem 2 News.
Moscow police responded to King Road for a call about an unconscious person Sunday afternoon. When police arrived, they found the 4 deceased students inside the home. This morning, the city of Moscow and University of Idaho identified all 4 U of I students. Freshman Ethan Chapin of Conway, Washington, was a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity. Dana Kernodle, a junior from Post Falls, was a member of the Pi Beta Phi sorority. Madison Mogan was a senior from Coeur d'Alene, and Kaylee Goncalves was a senior from Rathdrum.
This is a pretty dramatic situation for our campus community.
Dean of Students Blaine Eccles says news of the suspected homicide shocked the Vandal community.
This is rocking their world. Many of them come from small communities where things like this have never happened.
He says drop-in counseling is available to students at...
Okay, I lied. That part I will talk about real quick here. I agree with you, Molly, because it was an active threat. Nobody knew at that point. And I'll be honest with you, at this point right now, we still don't for sure know if that's the person in the suspect in custody is the suspect. We don't know. He's innocent until proven guilty. We don't know. We don't know if there was more than one person. We don't know if there was 3 people, 4 people. So who knows? There could be people still walking around that were responsible for this, okay? Just as I said yesterday. Thank you, Cece. I appreciate that so very much. And they came right out of the gate. There's no public threat. How do you know that? How can you say that there's no public threat? You can't. I understand that you want to keep, the chaos down and you don't want to cause mass panic, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But at some point, you got to be honest about these things, okay? There's things going on all over there, that area, Donna, and there has been. So who knows? You know what I mean? Thank you again, Miss Brandy. Again, guys, these links that are being posted up are the TikTok, the Facebook, the Instagram that are linked to the YouTube channel. So anybody wants to check those out, please do. Please do. Much appreciated. Like Molly said, right, how did they know if it was or if it wasn't? That's a fact, guys. And that's always bothered me, along with many other things that I have problems with this case, as you all know. Moving on. Sorry, I lied. And Bryan is in jail as of now. Good point, Donna. Good point.
At any time, but he recognizes that many students have already returned home early for the upcoming holiday.
People need to navigate through this situation in the way that best suits them. If students need to go home, be closer with their families, want to return home, I support them in doing that. We're going to support them in doing that.
Support for U of I goes beyond the university campus. Businesses throughout the city of Moscow are offering prayers and thoughts for the Vandal community. And because Moscow is a tight-knit community with a strong relationship with the university, this response isn't a surprise
Very much
to Mayor
so,
Art
Pink.
Bedic.
And you know, Molly, I'd still like to talk to her. I'd still like to talk to her. I mean, especially now that things have calmed down, I'd love to talk to her.
He told me he was shocked by the news about what he's calling a senseless act of violence.
This is stuff that shouldn't happen, especially in a small, quiet town like Moscow is, where we're heavily involved with the university. And these are things that affect not just town, but the university, the students, lends everybody to a sense of insecurity about what's going on here and why. And it's a very tragic and sad situation all around.
In speaking with Kaylee Gonzalez's mother and sister, they tell me Kaylee was a strong and passionate go-getter. She even already had a job lined up in the tech industry after graduation. Kaylee was one of 5 Gonzalez's children. She graduated from Lake City High School, the same school as Maddie Mogan, another victim. Kaylee's family says the two were especially close, and Maddie was a part of their family as well. Kaylee's oldest sister, Olivia, shared a statement on behalf of the Gonzalez family. It reads in part, "Kaylee was, is, and always will be our defender and protector. She is tough and fair, the ultimate middle child. She did absolutely everything she set her mind to. She didn't hold back on love, fights, or life. Kaylee was the ultimate go-getter and constantly wanted an adventure." We still have a lot of questions about what happened. Also looking for answers is Kaylee's family. Kaylee's sister Olivia asked the public to stop spreading rumors about what happened and wait for the facts from police. We are continuing to ask our own questions and will continue to bring you updates as we get them. In the studio, Janelle Fish.
We would if they'd give them to us.
Ethan Chapin, his brother and sister, all grew up here together. They went to school here together, and together they enrolled at the University of Idaho. 3 inseparable siblings, now torn apart.
You just couldn't ask for better kids.
Dave Hayton considered Ethan Chapin family, all the Chapin kids actually. He and his wife watched them grow up in their Conway neighborhood. They'd come over for fudgesicles from the basement freezer. When the couple heard what happened, they were crushed.
She's crying. And she says, Ethan's been murdered. Yeah. I just couldn't, you just can't get your head around it.
All 3 siblings attended the Conway School before moving on to Mount Vernon High, where Ethan played on the basketball team and graduated last year. All 3 later decided to attend the University of Idaho. Ethan and his brother were members of the same fraternity.
I know I didn't sleep a lot last night. I just thinking of them. We had some good times together.
The Haytons treated the kids like grandchildren. The couple shared these photos from Ethan's mom's Instagram page, this one taken just a few weeks ago at Parents' Weekend. Dave recalls Ethan as smart, athletic, and always respectful. He says all 3 were great kids, and having one of them gone is inconceivable.
I remember last night I woke up several times and I think, gee, I wish somebody would just tell me this is a bad dream. But unfortunately, it's not a bad dream. It's a reality.
Still no word as to a potential motive in these killings, no word as to a potential suspect. However, authorities in Idaho do say that there is no threat to the public. In Conway, Washington, Eric Wilkinson for Prem 2 News.
We've watched this memorial grow all day long. Students dropping off flowers and stuffed animals, remembering the 4 young lives that were lost. And there's still a lot of unanswered questions tonight, like how this happened and why.
Like, it's all just shocking and scary. Like, I never would have thought that this would have happened here.
Tonight, yellow crime tape still surrounds the house where 4 young college students were found dead over the weekend, a crime shocking the University of Idaho community. Classes were canceled today, and some students have decided to go on Thanksgiving break early.
A lot of people left last night, and then we were like, I know we were like one of the only ones who like actually stayed here last night. My mom has called me every single hour for since 7 a.m. this morning. So yeah, they want me to come home if I don't feel safe.
Moscow police have not said much about what exactly happened, but they have released the names of the victims. 2 of them, Zana Kernodle, a junior from Post Falls, and Madison Mogan, a senior from Coeur d'Alene, were servers at the Mad Greek restaurant in downtown Moscow. The restaurant posted on Facebook saying the 2 brought so much joy to the restaurant and all they encountered. Mad Greek is now closed, giving staff time to grieve along with the rest of the community. And the university is planning a vigil for the victims. That's taking place at 5 p.m. on Wednesday on the lawn outside the administration building. In Moscow, Kyle Simchuk, Prem 2 News.
Well, the Moscow Police Department hasn't added any new information since they released a press release this morning about the homicide investigation. But a few hours ago, we did speak with the Latah County coroner. Kathy Mabbitt is calling all four deaths homicides and that the cause of death is likely a stabbing. But we won't know that for certain until the autopsy report comes back and she can make that official ruling. Now, to take that a step further, Latah County contracts its autopsies out to the Spokane County Medical Examiner. And I confirmed this afternoon that Spokane County is in fact conducting the autopsies on the 4 University of Idaho students. Now, the Spokane County spokesperson says the medical examiner has not yet started those autopsies. Once they are done, the medical examiner will forward her recommended findings to the Latah County coroner. And the Moscow Police Department or the Latah County coroner will release the official ruling. Now, this afternoon, when we talked to the coroner, she described a gruesome crime scene.
Well, there was a lot of blood. It was, yeah.
15 years in Latah County. She says in that time, there have been at least 2 other multiple homicide scenes that she's been involved in. But she says this current homicide investigation is the only one she's been to where there are 4 people at one scene. Now, we are continuing to press local authorities like the Moscow Police Department, as well as the Latah County prosecutor. I have made multiple calls into their offices yesterday and today, have not got a call returned from either agencies. Now, we know there are University of Idaho students, their families, and the greater Moscow community, many of which are still concerned for their safety, even though the police department says there is no active threat to the community. So that is why we remain here in Moscow pressing for answers. And once we do get those, we'll continue to keep you updated. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
2 of the 4 University of Idaho students who died on Sunday, Xana and Maddie, both worked here at Mad Creek Restaurant. The restaurant has closed its doors for now, and they have also put out a memorial for all 4 of those students.
Tucked inside a Main Street restaurant bench
Is a memorial.
Good to see you, Robin. Thanks for joining us.
Annalise Mitchell. She's a sophomore at University of Idaho.
I just wanted to kind of take a moment to remember them.
Annalise is one of many students struggling to process the death of 4 fellow classmates.
It's been surreal, devastating, horrific, honestly.
Annalise knew the 4 students from the university's Greek life.
When I did talk to them, they were just nothing but kind and nothing but bright and positive, and they definitely made an impact on everyone that they've met.
Now, as classes resume today, many students are leaving campus.
People can't even focus on their schoolwork. Like my sisters and I, we've tried to do our homework and it's not possible.
Annalise says for her friends that are still here, she's just being supportive.
Nothing will be the same. At least we're all here for each other and just remembering.
But that community doesn't take away the pain.
Just angry, honestly, because again, it's 4 people. It's 4 people that have touched so many lives and have touched my friends, and to see them in such grief and suffering, it just makes me angry.
In Moscow, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
It's not something you ever expect to hear.
Through the tears and shock, Jim and Stacy Chapin described the moment they found out their son Ethan was gone.
It's not a call that you think that you're going to have to speak with a funeral home directors and the FBI and have it hit national news.
Earlier this week, Moscow police identified Chapin as one of the 4 victims killed in the home just off campus. Stacy and Jim said their son was staying with his girlfriend at the house, who was also killed, Xana Kernodle. So far, police haven't released many details about the investigation, and as questions mount, the Chapins say they wanted to make sure Ethan's story was told.
It's important for us to get Ethan's story out. We don't really want anybody else representing him, and it's hard to have people speaking on his behalf. So we think it's best for us to do this.
He's the kind of kid that everybody wanted to be around. You know, he was just a good kid.
He's a good kid.
That
kind to all.
Didn't deserve what happened.
No.
They say Ethan was a triplet. He and his siblings were extremely close. In fact, they all decided to attend the University of Idaho. Jim says Ethan was an athletic kid who played club soccer and refereed youth sports. His smile, he says, lit up a room, and he made friends wherever he went. They had just spent last weekend at the university for Parents' Weekend.
And as we pulled out of Moscow, we literally were like, we've done it. We've literally done it as parents. We've created 3 incredible humans that will go on and have something great to offer to this world. Honestly, all 3 of them.
A week later, as they grapple with this horrific loss, they say they're determined to keep moving forward for Ethan.
But we will not let this sink us or sink our kids, because if anything, they have to go on and shine Ethan's bright light on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Moscow Police Chief James Fry, University of Idaho President Scott Green, and the Director of Idaho State Police, Colonel Kendrick Wills, all spoke at today's press conference. Before Wednesday's press conference, Moscow Police had only told the public the 4 students were found dead inside the home late Sunday morning. Wednesday, they revealed that all 4 victims were stabbed to death. Chief Fry says 2 other roommates were at the home during the attack, but were not injured, and he is not calling them witnesses. He said they were also home when police arrived at the house. Fry did not say why the call to police was not until noon on Sunday, when the attack happened in the early morning hours. Police said it appeared to be a targeted attack, but did not explain why. Moscow police have also been saying that they do not believe there is an ongoing threat to the community. But today, the tone changed. Police say the search for a suspect continues, and people should look out for each other. Meantime, we found this video from a Moscow food truck that's from early Sunday morning. It shows 2 of the students, Kaylee and Maddie, ordering food around 1:40 a.m. This is one of the last times they were seen. Moscow police say this video is helping investigators recreate a timeline of events from that night.
And it has helped. It gives us a time and space where we know that 2 of our victims were, and that helps us a ton, and we'll continue to follow up all leads that we can.
The family of Kaylee Gonsalves have seen the video and agreed to let us publish it. They identified Maddie Mogan wearing the long black jacket and Kaylee, who is with her, in the white sweatshirt.
It's normally a place where everyone feels really safe.
Joseph Woodall is the manager.
Nothing wrong with that at all, Boone.
He's seen in the video working the cash register, taking the girl's order. This afternoon, he described their interaction with me.
One of the blondes was just a little bit more cheery and kind of bouncing around a little bit more. And then one was like standing there and doing the hello, how are you? And goes through the interactions. And normally that's pretty normal. In most of our groups, there's people that are more energetic and people that are managing the energetic people.
Joseph told me he felt incredibly sad when he learned the news about the girls he had just seen the other night.
Hope they find the person. Hope they get the person.
I do, Donna, I do.
Definitely a somber mood at tonight's game. Quite a few empty seats in the student section as well. A lot of them have gone home early for Thanksgiving break, but we talked to students that decided to stick around. They were at tonight's game and they told us they were happy the university didn't cancel this, gave them a chance to see some of their friends, classmates, and somewhat sense of normalcy. A lot of them telling us they won't feel entirely safe on campus until this murderer is caught.
Basketball fans, at this time, we ask that you please stand and join us in a moment of silence for the 4 University of Idaho students that were tragically taken from us on Sunday.
The names of the 4 students found murdered inside a home near campus were read aloud before tonight's game. The Moscow community still in shock.
Definitely like a ghost town here. Weird seeing everyone just pack up and leave.
Like many other students, Jessica Jacobs and Asha Cummings haven't been going to class and say they don't feel as safe alone or on campus as they did a week ago.
The only reason we're still here is because we had a little trip planned going opposite of our homes, but we've been staying together every night, trying to stay as safe as we can, but we definitely aren't going to go home early.
A question of safety is on everyone's mind right now.
During a press conference this afternoon, University of Idaho officials said they've increased campus patrols and students can request a security escort across campus day or night. The university is also excusing all absences.
That if they want to leave and go home now, they absolutely can. We're going to support them in doing so.
Classes were canceled the day after the 4 bodies were found, but resumed on Tuesday. School officials say some students want to keep their minds occupied.
They gain comfort from being around their other students. They gain comfort from interacting and staying busy with their faculty.
I'm happy they're still doing it, and we're here to support our teams, so we're happy to be here. Lucky that we still get to come to this and feel safe here.
And the university has postponed a candlelight vigil until after Thanksgiving break in order to give as many students that want to attend the opportunity to. That's scheduled for sometime on November 30th. In Moscow, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Hey, Sleuthy, good to see you. Thanks for joining us today, dear.
Yesterday and sent them over to the Lake County coroner. With that, the coroner sent out this. You can see here at the bottom of the document, cause of death, homicide, murder, and manner of death is stabbing. Moscow PD says whoever did this used a large knife. We also learned yesterday, Idaho State Police say investigators think the killer got in the house through the sliding glass door. ISP says the forensic team is taking another look at the house to make sure they didn't miss any details.
We intend to come out and solicit information from the public if they are within certain areas that we believe are of interest for this investigation. And so hopefully today or early tomorrow, we will come out with a map where the victims were at specific times during the night and ultimately ending at their residence.
The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit is now helping in the investigation. They do crime analysis, create suspect profiles, and help with interview strategies. ISP says an FBI command vehicle is on its way to bring Moscow up more resources. As for the other 2 roommates who were home during the attack, ISP says they are cooperating with investigators. They are not suspects or persons of interest as of now, but ISP says nobody is clear from the investigation yet. In the newsroom, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.
Earlier this evening, the University of Idaho released a statement urging students to be vigilant. For those that are still here, security will increase over this weekend. Moscow police say patrols have also ramped up around the community. The school district says patrols will monitor the area around its schools. Idaho State Patrol is helping with this extra police presence. People I spoke with in the community today are less concerned about their own safety and more focused on making sure the suspect or suspects are found. In your 70 years of living in this area,
Donna, I don't really think that those two were ever like lawfully on the suspect list per se. I know you're talking in regards to what was posted on 4chan, so on and so forth. I'm not 100% sure on that scenario. As I said before, you know, there's so many people that have been on this list per se, you know, if you want to call it a list. That we really don't know 100% who's who and who's not with this scenario, you know. And as I said, in my opinion, everything and anything, anyone and everyone is on the table with this. Yeah, I don't think they were. I don't, but we don't know. Okay, you know, I want to see. You know, you guys know I try to bring as many facts as possible. But again, like I said, and I've said from the beginning, they don't really give us that much to base anything on. So we got to try to pick and choose and sort through things and so on and so forth. Excuse me, everyone. So that being said, at this point, you know, it's just give or take. You figure and hope that something good is going to happen. That, you know, with all the documents that get dropped here and there, so on and so forth, and you pray that one of them is going to make some sense, that any of this is going to start connecting somewhere, but it doesn't. It just doesn't. Again, I don't know if you heard me, but welcome, Sleuthy. It's so great to see you here. I appreciate you so very much. Honestly, regardless, I think the PD's clearing procedure is going to come under. Oh, yes. Again, if you, and you know, I'm not. Everything that I talk about is 100% alleged and pure speculation based on factual information that we receive from PD, hopefully, okay, and news sources, hopefully, okay. But in the very beginning, you guys remember, for those of you that were following this in the beginning, you remember that certain people were clear. Boom, 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 they were clear. That doesn't make sense to me. There was no time put into the investigation process to be able to clear those people, other than word of mouth from somebody saying, no, it wasn't him. Really? That's how you clear somebody? Okay. So, okay. I mean, absolutely, Sleuthy, absolutely. So again, guys, that's and what she just said right there, you know, it needs to be under some intense scrutiny, because this case from the drop, folks, has been a mess. Okay, the crime scene, the law enforcement, and again, I'm not talking bad about law enforcement. I'm not trying to, I should say, but they've dropped the ball. They have dropped the ball, and whether it's due to inexperience, okay, fine, but there are still certain protocols that you follow, and certain processes that, you know, are due, that have to be dealt with the correct way, and it wasn't. So at this point, here we are. You know what I mean? I can't help but wonder, this was a railroad job. Okay. Well, now that, Donna, I do not believe that actually happened. Okay. I cannot guarantee you, because again, another bad thing with this case was the rumor mill. It just started turning, and it was turning and turning and turning, and it's still turning. Okay. I do not believe that he went to Africa. I believe that he just kind of stepped out of the limelight for a while, as he was told to, and kind of stayed quiet. Okay. That's my opinion. I don't know facts on that for sure, but I don't believe he went to Africa. I don't. I know that was a huge, big thing. I'm sure we'll find out eventually, because I'm telling you guys, as I said yesterday, once this subpoena dropped about Bethany, there's going to be more to come. I can almost promise you guys, I'm not going to say 100%, but I'll say about 95% that I'm almost sure that we're going to have more situations like that start to drop within the next week or so, okay, because of what we're building up to. So I can almost guarantee you it's going to happen. Sleuty says how thoroughly they cleared people is going to determine reasonable doubt here. 100%. I want to know how they cleared 22,000 elantras in a couple days. That's a good point, Sleuty. That's a good point. How did you do that? Because the process it takes to clear these vehicles, guys, truthfully, all of those happen in a couple of days. It takes about a day to clear at least one vehicle, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm just saying, I would guess. Okay. Private party driver and neighbors having to reach out to Ellie. 100%. Absolutely. It was in November, Robin, of this past year. Also, yeah, I've seen no evidence to support anybody from the police department, in my opinion. Too much doubt. Yes. Hash says during the big Bellum defund the police campaign 2020, Moscow cut their PD budget for the university by half. Yes, that's a fact. That I did see. Okay. Takes longer than 24 hours. Yeah. Miss Pam, again. And Miss Pam is a retired police constable in UK. Guys, she's absolutely correct. It takes longer than 24 hours to clear anyone of any situation, period. You have to you have to investigate the situation. That takes time. That takes effort, sometimes resources to do this, so on and so forth. They cleared multiple people within a matter of hours, folks. Hours, not days, hours. And a lot of it was based on word of mouth. Yeah, he's good. I know him. He's okay. He wouldn't do this. He wouldn't do that. No. They loved each other. They were together too long. They were going to have kids. They were going to get married. He didn't do that. Give me a break. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound rude, but I don't go with that stuff. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we better not find out. They didn't reach out to those 22,000 Elantra owners. I swear I'll come unglued. Well, hon, and I'm sorry, no disrespect intended, but you almost got to know that they couldn't have done that. I know you of all people probably know 100% that they didn't do it. So they couldn't have. I mean, it was what, 48 hours and they had cleared all of those vehicles, I believe, maybe a little over 48 hours. I do in here somewhere. I'm just kind of doing a revisit on the situation and trying to come all the way back up. So yeah, I believe it was a little over 48 hours it took to completely clear the vehicles. And then the situation happened with the other one. 100% what it looks like. I hope I'm dead wrong, but would bet my right big toe that they didn't. I agree with you 150%. I do. I absolutely do. Let's see. Clearance rate in Moscow. Oh, come on, computer, do your thing. Clearance rate in Moscow depends on which politician whispered in officer's ear. I can agree with that one, Sentinel. I could absolutely agree with that one. Donna, I can agree with you in a sense on that too. This case has a lot of feelers in the same realm that the Kelly Rodney case was in, as far as conspiracy and secrecy, in my opinion. I'll just say it that way. Just making sure. Whoa. Where'd it go? Just making sure I love watching. Oh, absolutely. Me too. Me as well. And I think it's important to do this. After a certain amount of time, especially with what's been going on with this case, you have to go back to the beginning and try and make it, and to re-look at it and look at the things. Did this get missed? Did that get missed? What's this? Because I've already seen things that I was not, honed in on the first time that I went through this. You know what I mean? So absolutely. Thank you, Transporter. That's very much appreciated, sir. Appreciate you. And here we go. What's crazy with the car is that it was not BK name. The car belongs to his mother. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay, place. Yeah, that's about it, Nikki. It seems to be where it's going. All right. Moving on, folks. I don't want to hold everybody up again like we ended up with yesterday. We could not get through it yesterday. We had a lot of people in here, so let's move along a little bit. For those of you that have just popped in here, guys, I do appreciate you so very much for being here today for this. And for those of you that were here with it yesterday, thank you once again. And I hope that this meets the standards everybody's looking for what we're talking about. So thank you once again, guys.
Ever have thought that something like that could happen?
No, really. No.
I definitely was shocked and a little scared, but at the same time, I do have a feeling that the person who did this was somebody that they knew, and so I wasn't personally afraid.
This morning, I noticed quite a few more law enforcement just out and about. I'm really grateful for them.
People say they're thankful Moscow PD are calling on the necessary agencies to help protect the community and figure out what exactly happened on Sunday. In a press conference yesterday, we learned from the Moscow Police Chief, James Fry, that the department has called on 25+ investigators, the state police, and FBI to assist in solving this case. The Moscow Police Department maintains that this was a targeted attack. For that reason, the people I spoke to say they don't personally feel a threat in the community. But like said, the University of Idaho is reminding people here to remain vigilant and provide any and all information you can to Moscow police. In Moscow, Janelle Finch, Crime 2 News.
People across the country want to know what happened inside this home and why. For those living in Moscow, there's still a lot of fear and uncertainty. And how could there not be? 4 young college students were stabbed to death, and their killer still hasn't been caught. Ever since the yellow crime tape went up, the Moscow Police Department
absolutely sleuthy, and thank you for the tip. I've heard that.
As some would like to know.
There's some things that only the people that were at that scene would know. And so you definitely don't want to release that information to the public.
Gary Jenkins is the former chief of Pullman Police and now serves in that role for the WSU Police Department. He says sharing details is a balancing act, keeping people safe and informed without compromising the investigation.
Just trying to make sure that when
detectives
go out and interview people, it's based on what they know, not what they've heard on the news.
The University of Idaho told students this week they could go home early for Thanksgiving break if they didn't feel safe around campus, and many already have. Jenkins says that could pose a challenge for detectives trying to interview witnesses. It was for him during the hazing death of Sam Martinez, which also occurred right before Thanksgiving break in 2019.
Thank you,
CC. Left town, and that's the type of investigation you need to have a one-on-one in-person interview, and so it does definitely complicate that investigation.
Jenkins says the answers all of us want could take time.
They're trying to juggle a lot.
Thank you so much, Sleuthy. I appreciate that so very much.
It's going to be a very complex crime scene. It's going to be a complex investigation.
New details are emerging in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. Tonight, the Latah County coroner says the 4 students were likely asleep. Some had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. Authorities found no sign of sexual assault. Moscow police say at this point in the investigation, they do not believe the 2 surviving roommates or the man seen standing near a local food truck were involved in the murders. Police also addressed rumors swirling online claiming the victims were gagged and tied, saying those are not accurate, and the identity of the 911 caller has not been released. Detectives say they've received nearly 500 tips, which are being processed, investigated, and cleared. 38 people who may have information about the murders have been interviewed. The whereabouts of the killer and the knife used are still unknown. Detectives see.
Once again, my apologies for interrupting. And again, as we've seen how the rumor mill worked, obviously we know that that's not true. We've known that that's not true. And I feel absolutely, Miss April, you deserve it. I feel like, they said 38 people have been interviewed, blah, 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 so on and so forth. I don't think that they're interviewing the right people. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Once again, folks, everything that's said in here from me is 100% pure alleged and 100% purely speculation based on what I have seen for facts and so on and so forth. And I'm just telling you my opinions, and nobody needs to agree with me. It doesn't mean it's written in stone because I think that. I don't think that they completely interviewed all of the correct people. There's so many other people that could be interviewed. Okay. There's different things that have popped up through here now. Okay. Yesterday, I found out for a fact, not to jump ahead, but they've been talking about the DoorDash driver for months. Okay. Months. That's a long time to talk about something that they're completely wrong about. The DoorDash driver was a female. It's not a guy. There was a call that was put into the place that does the DoorDash, and they were talking about the DoorDash driver. And do you know who that person is? So, yeah, I can remember her. She still comes in every now and then and drives. She took a break for a while because of everything going on. So it's a girl. So again, the point that I'm making though is like there's so many things that have been said that need to be corrected, and that's why I want to go back to this and say, okay, was this something that I thought at this point? So, but it's now it's not. Is this something else? And it's kind of reorganizing the case in my mind, and for all of us, in a sense, if we can pick things apart and look at it and say, okay, well, now we know that this isn't true. Now we know that that's not true. Now we know that this is what actually happened. Now we know, like, okay, the DoorDash driver wasn't a guy. It wasn't Bryan Kohberger. It's this person. But then at the same time, during that call that was made to the, I think it was Jack's, I believe it's called, they were talking about something about who ordered the food. The question was talked about who ordered the food, so on and so forth. And I don't know if the kid that was working there misunderstood it. And he said, do you remember the person's name? And he goes, yeah, it was Bryan something, or it started with a C, blah, blah, blah. And the person that was talking to him said Kohberger. And he completely misunderstood what was being said. So that happens too. But they did clarify that the DoorDash driver is a woman, not a guy. It's definitely not Bryan Kohberger. It's definitely not Ian Harsh. None of that, guys. And that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to do this because we're coming up on dates for trials and grand jury scenarios and this and that. And, you know, there's a motion put through now to drop the gag order. Things are going to be talked about, hopefully. So that being said, and at that point, it's good to have things organized in our minds and you know, in our notebooks and the 5 notebooks that I have of this case, knowing what's factual and non-factual. And we can sweep away the non-facts and get rid of that completely and stick to what we have that's real and take that forward with this case and know that what we know we're talking about is real. Okay. So that again is why I'm doing this. Welcome, Don. Spain, again, good to see you, brother. Could they have been drugged and then stabbed? I don't know, Transporter. That's the problem. We don't know. They very well could have been. There's rumors everywhere, guys. I've heard rumors that they had GHB in their systems. Well, how do you know? Because we haven't gotten a toxicology report back. And we probably won't until the trial starts, okay? I don't know. I don't know. And I'm not going to say maybe or I think so or none of that because I don't know. All I can say is it's a possibility because anything right now at this point is a possibility with this case, you guys. That's why I said forget about it. Nothing's coming off the table. Nothing and no one until we have written in stone fact that this person did it with this type of a weapon. These people did it, this, that, and everything else. And it's written in stone and everybody sees it in front of our faces because there are so many cases that have turned out. And I've been guilty of it at times too, taking something to heart and thinking like very strongly about it going, you know what, that has to be what it is. But that's what we do out here, folks. That's what we do. We do these think tanks and we come out with our scenarios, but it's not completely our fault because it's based on what is given to us by PD, by media, by all of that, folks. That's how this works out. That's why it does. That's why people like me, I can't speak for everybody that does this, but people like me stress and lose sleep over this because I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the absolute best possible broadcast of this that I can, with the most factual pieces of information that I can. You know, I don't like to go down rabbit holes. I don't like to be the conspiracy theorist, as you guys hear me say on a regular basis, but sometimes some things that sound conspiracy-like actually can be true. So you got to think about it, and then you got to weigh it out. And then you go digging for more facts based on what you have, and hope that that turns out to be the right thing. And then here we are. So I know I'm rambling. I know I'm rambling like crazy, but you guys know that I get passionate about this, especially with this case, because it's driving me nuts. So I want to bring nothing but the best and true facts to you guys, the best I can, guys. That's all I'm saying. I mean, we've looked at so many different crazy scenarios. We've looked at so many different pieces of info that turn out to be absolutely nothing. Things that have been debunked multiple times by ourselves, okay? Because that's why we do it. We look at it and go, does that make sense? I don't know. Are we going to do this? Not really. That doesn't make sense either. So on and so forth. So that's what I'm saying. Tunnel vision is not good. Got to keep each other out of that. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And that's why I try to just, it's a broad spectrum to me. I have it all out here on this table in front of me, and I look at everything and keep it all there until somebody says that is absolutely not it, and then you get rid of it. You know what I mean? It's the best way to do it. Welcome, BBN Turner. Good to have you here. I appreciate you so very much. And it's good to see you and anybody else that is newer that has jumped in. I appreciate you so very much. All you guys, I really do. I think that's it, though. Like the sheets, the cops saw. Now, see, that's something else that I have an issue with, guys. The sheet thing I have had an issue with for a long time, okay? And I explained this yesterday, and this just could be me, and I'll re-explain this here real quick to everybody while I'm talking about this, okay? I had a lady that called in yesterday that asked me questions about it. You know, I work in meetings, and I've seen the way protocol works for that. When we received the affidavit, and it had the writing in it stating where about the sheet, this, that, and everything else, it named, now I don't know if this is, it doesn't seem right to me, but I don't know if this is Moscow PD protocol, because if it is, it's wrong. It shouldn't be that way. Anything that changes hands on a scene like this should have every person's name listed in that affidavit, okay? So, and I'm not being conspiracy like with this sheet thing. All I'm saying is the fact that there was EMS involved in this call. The call went out. It was stepped up when the PD got there, because they got there first, and said, okay, we have, 4 deceased people here. You need to move it and get in here. So EMS has to go in, look at the scenario. In my experience, guys, I don't know if they, because of the situation here, changed this, but in my experience, EMS goes in and assesses the scene to make sure these people are deceased, okay? And you look at different areas. There's blood coming from here. Is there blood coming from there? This, that, this, and that. There was nothing in the affidavit about EMS being involved in that situation whatsoever. So if that sheath was there, I would venture to say that EMS would have seen this, and it was never talked about. Now, I may be making a stretch with this, and if I am, my apologies. It's just something that's been eating at me since yesterday when she said that, okay? And I had thought about that a ways before, but I kind of let it go. And it just bugged me because the sheath didn't come out till quite a ways down into the case, okay? And then all of a sudden, boom, here it is. And then now I start thinking about that other stuff. So it is what it is. Excuse me if I come off a little weird with that one. I'm not comfortable with that whole situation. And the fact that it took so long for it to show up and so on and so forth. It wasn't talked about ever until then. I don't know if it's because of the way the documentation dropped or what it was, folks. But that's just kind of an issue with me about that is all I'm saying. Welcome, Miss Jewel. So good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Read per the document we see, they had his name all the way back on 11/29 when a school officer matched the vehicle description to one in their system, and then they saw it at his apartment. Okay. All right. Okay, then moving down. No. Okay. In fact, I have the article where they interviewed EMS guy, and he said his EMS crew never. I see. I never saw that, and I thank you for that. But if that being said, does that not seem odd to you, though, Sleuthy, that EMS never entered the home? Now, I understand a crime scene is a crime scene. Here's the thing, though. From my understanding, based on my experience, I'm in Ohio. I don't know if the state to state would make a difference, but I would still think that EMS would need to go in and look at it. These guys, I mean, PD, they're not medically, some of them, I should say, are medically trained, but here, I mean, we have to have EMS kind of assess the scene, and then you contact, if you're, you know, okay, yes, they're all deceased, you contact coroner, and then you move from there, and everybody steps out. That way there's no, you're not damaging the scene, okay? For lack of better words. Oh, absolutely, Jules. I know. I look and watch all of the stuff too. Believe me, I do. So I never got to see that though. I appreciate that, Sleuthy. I really do. I was curious about that until right this moment. So thank you for that. Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Here, let me throw it up here real quick. Slow typer. There you go. Thank you so very much again, Sleuthy. I appreciate that. Still would think medical would assess the scene for possible survivors. That's my thought as well, BBN. And in my experience, we've done that. I've been on scenes kind of like this. Nothing as dramatic and extreme as this. But, you know, domestics that have turned into stabbings or shootings, things like that. And you have to go in and you have to go, okay, yeah, this one is this way, this one's that way. You know, PD goes in first in any type of a situation like this because, you know, it's dangerous to us as well as EMS personnel or fire personnel, so on and so forth. But they still have to do a form of assessment. So they held them out of the scene for whatever reason. I get it. I'm just kind of curious, you know, that sparks my curiosity quite a bit. I'm a nurse, so I understand the medical side before a crime scene is preserved. Correct. That's my thought, you know? And I mean, I've always seen it, like we've been on scenes where police are there and they're like, I don't know, I think this one's gone and I believe you want to check them. That's how that works. Around here, that's how that's worked, but they obviously didn't do that here. Thank you, Brandy. Again, guys, for those of you that haven't noticed, Sleuthy Goosey's in chat here. Guys, show some love. She's got great stuff over there. Just like Jules, I tell you, they're just great guys. There's a link. Go check her out. Show some love. Subscribe if you haven't. Please, please do. It's great over there, guys. I love everything she puts out, so please do. Absolutely, Sherry. Thank you so very much. Guys, there's 112 people in here. Please hit that like button on your way in the door. Get us into that algorithm once more again, like we did yesterday, and we can keep on flowing, folks. Making sure I'm catching everybody's chats here in Tennessee too. Right. And that's kind of what I thought. So I'm not saying that this is not, it's just odd to me that they didn't. And I believe what she's saying. I'm sure there's a document stating it. She doesn't put out anything that's not real. So the thing is why did they do that scenario? Why did they hold them back from going into that place? That doesn't make sense to me. It's weird. So that's my thought on that. And I guess we can move forward. Thank you guys for all you guys that did subscribe. I know she appreciates it, as do I, for anybody in here that did it, because I'm telling you guys, you're going to get everything you want and more from the content. 100%. 100%. All right, folks, moving on. I kind of feel that way in a way too, BBN. It kind of seems like, you know, I don't want to say it was a power play. I don't know if they were going overly, you know, because maybe here's the scenario. Maybe because of all the people per se that we've heard that were there, that were called before the police were there. Maybe they just backed everybody out and didn't want anybody going in there, in a sense. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. I would really like to know that, though. I really would. Anyway, moving forward, I don't want to drag.
Seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road to look for evidence. Police have also gone to local businesses to see if anyone recently purchased a fixed blade knife. Anyone who saw something suspicious, has video surveillance, or can provide relevant information about the murders is asked to call the Moscow Police Department.
Investigators are still trying to piece together where the 4 University of Idaho students went the night before they were found in their Moscow home, stabbed to death. Investigators are hoping the map released today will provide additional tips from the community.
The map details the night of Saturday, November 12th into the early hours of Sunday, November 13th.
It highlights locations and approximate times when Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogen were in downtown Moscow, while Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house. Investigators believe Madison and Kaylee were at the Corner Club on Saturday from 8 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. Sunday. Then they were at the Grub Truck on Main Street at 1:40 a.m. 5 minutes later, the map says they returned to their home on King Road. I drove that route this afternoon, starting at 4th and Main and ending at the King Road home. With some light traffic on the road, I arrived at the house in about 3 minutes. This suggests it's reasonable to believe Madison and Kaylee traveled by car from the food truck, but that detail has not been confirmed by police. Investigators also say Ethan and Xana were at a party at Sigma Chi from 8 to 9 p.m., then returned to the home on King Road at 1:45 a.m. The fraternity is a short 3-minute walk from the house, but still, there is a 5-hour gap on their location between the party and arriving at home.
Heather,
Investigators
welcome,
hope someone might remember being at or near the locations they've identified around the same time and potentially saw something suspicious or relevant to the investigation. Police are asking those people to call the tip line or...
All right, guys, again, welcome Elizabeth Mason, by the way, as well. Anybody else that's jumped in that may just be listening, thank you all for being here so very much. I appreciate you so much. And I don't know if you heard me, but welcome. Good to see you, Heather. So here we are with a version of some of the timeline for this part. Okay, this one's not the best version of it. I don't like it, and I have other pieces. I'm just going through this video with you guys slowly but surely. Okay. What was the question that Donna asked? Another thing that bothers me, if DM saw Bryan, I'm sorry, hold on, guys. Where did it go? I saw Bryan leaving. Where was the knife? Well, that's the question of the hour, guys. That is a good question. It really is. And Fopa says, I don't know if that is the rule in ID. The police were the first one on the scene, and then the coroner. No EMS for Tammy Daybell. And that's weird to me. It is just weird to me. I'm not saying that it's wrong because I don't know what protocol is in Moscow, Idaho, but everywhere that I've been in the state that I'm in, it's just been kind of what protocol is. You know, I'm not saying that. And then again, I've never encountered anything like this. And we haven't seen too many, you know, knock on wood scenarios that are this horrid. And I'm sure that there's got to be a severe police presence there to restrain and to control the scene. But I would still imagine and think that they would want EMS involved because I don't know, guys. Something seems off with that to me. And again, it's just weird to me. I don't know. In my area, EMS is not allowed to even go anywhere without the popo clearing the scene. Yeah, right. That's how we are here. Now, if we get just a general call for like a sprained ankle or somebody is stuck on the toilet or and it happens, folks. Calls like that, there does not need to be police available or, you know, in that scene. Car accidents, domestic disputes, you know, any kind of an unaliving of any sort, stuff like that, where it seems, you know, not natural with, you know, stuff like that. Yes, that has to be cleared by police. But when it's cleared, you know, when they go in to make sure there's nobody still there, so on and so forth, that's when EMS goes in and they do what they're doing. It's just kind of odd to me. Let's see. Nikki's saying, wait. Why would they send or V over EMS for an unconscious person? Well, because that person's unconscious. You don't know why that person's unconscious. They could have been knocked out. They could have passed out. They could have been having a cardiac episode. They could have done anything. So you would send EMS, in my opinion, like with that automatically. That's how we do it here. But let me see. Sentinel. It's very likely that MPD officers Shane Gunderson, Nunez, etc. violated the protocol policy manuals of MPD. They've done it before. They are not sanctioned by the judges. Okay. That's a good point. I just thought it was a relevant parallel since both are in the same state. Absolutely, Popo. I appreciate it. I do. Very much so. I appreciate everybody's input. And that's, again, why we're doing this little by little, guys. And it's going to take us some couple days to do this. So, you know, I hope everybody's down for that because I just want to pull this apart piece by piece and look at everything I can, again, to make sure there was nothing that was missed to remove things that don't need to be there, to add things that are new, and to make it all fit the right way, because it doesn't from here on, from the beginning till now, and it doesn't click together, guys. It doesn't work for me. I welcome Elizabeth Mason. Good to see you. Can't control the scene when half the college has already traced all over it. That's a good point as well, Donna. And that's another issue that I had with the whole thing. Lack of experience with that procedure as well by Ellie, unfortunately. Now, here's another thing. And I'm not, for anybody, I'm not trying to stick up for the law enforcement or any of that, but understand something. As in most places, especially smaller areas, I've never dealt with a situation this extreme and this dramatic and this bad, okay? I'm sure they have training for it, but until you, and this is, you know, just like the first time that I went to a house fire, I had training for it, okay? But I didn't really learn anything from it until I did it. So in this situation, this is the first scenario they had that was this big, this bad. So they learn that they have had, you know, special training courses for different things. Until you go hands-on into something like this, you definitely don't have the right experience with it, guys. And now they have it, but at this point they probably didn't. So maybe that's the scenario with the whole EMS thing. I don't know, because they never experienced this scenario like this before. So that I'm going to go with that and just say that that makes sense to me at that point. Okay, so what I was trying to show you guys real quick here, and I will catch your chat, your chats here in a second, guys, is I've had issues with this here from the beginning as far as it being 100% correct. I have a timeline in here. I have to pull everything out. We will get to it eventually, but I do have timelines, okay? This here, it's been changed so many different times in so many different ways. Do we know what's right and what's not at this point? Do we know what's real and what's not as far as time goes? Because how many times has this been changed on us, folks? And that's what I'm saying. I just don't feel comfortable with this, okay? I don't. Where are we at? I just want to make sure. Where are we at? Fire department has to pronounce dead at any case, so not sure. Again, that's kind of what I thought too, but this may be a different scenario. Where are we at? Sorry, folks. PD over EMS. If it was for a living person, why would they send cops instead? Well, see, there's another thing. That's another thing. Let's stop for a minute. When the 911 call was made, it was made for an unconscious person. So they sent police first. Was there more said in that call other than that this person's unconscious? That's the problem now, because they automatically sent PD. Now, sometimes, like I just explained to you, protocol here is if there's somebody unconscious, were they drunk and they passed out? Did they fall down, hit their head? Did they have a cardiac episode? Did they have a stroke? Any of these things, guys, you don't know. So that's why EMS goes on that scenario. Why would you send PD on an unconscious person, though? Are they going in regards to see if it was something, a fight, or something illegal that went down that caused that? Because that's a little off, too, if you think about it. You know, we have had things like that happen where I'm at. They don't send police on it because they're too busy. But unless they need them, then they'll call for them. That's what I'm saying. So again, this is all probably based on protocol for that area. This is a college town, too, guys. And college towns are different than typical regular old cities. There probably are different protocols for different things there. So again, you know, we can go with that. I don't want to sit on this and stew forever. I'm just saying, was Dylan's boyfriend in town? From what I understand, okay, here Sleuthy said email sent with links re-EMS. Thank you, Sleuthy. I appreciate that so very much. I thought, welcome Mara call. I thought Ellie said from the start they weren't investigating what happened prior and were focused solely on the evidence at the scene. That's a very good point, Mara. I hope I said that right, by the way. It's a good point. It is. And again, thank you, Sleuthy, for the email. I do appreciate that. Donnie, your question was Dylan's boyfriend in town? I heard, see, this is the issue. From what I've heard, he was in Boise, Idaho the night before. She called him and he was there that morning. I don't know if that's true or if that's not. I have not seen any 100% proof on that. So we don't know everything, you know. I would like to know that. I definitely would like to know that. You know, in fact, I probably will go digging a little bit more to see if there's any way to prove that, just to see, out of my curiosity. And yeah, PD was probably close, and maybe they just responded because they were close, okay? Because as we know, that night before, they were literally within feet of the house on and off all night, okay? So they could have just been right there. It literally took them, I think it was, what, 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to get to the scene after the call was made, from what I heard, and so on and so forth. So they were very close, and maybe that's why they responded. Good point, Red, and I appreciate you. Okay. As are we all, Heather. And thank you for that. I told you, Sleuthy, you're popular over here for sure. Why no mention it being a K-bar knife if they are visiting local stores? Repurchase is saying fixed blade knife, which would include every steak knife in town. I couldn't tell you that one, Hash. That was a question I had way back when too. But again, maybe we'll find that out during the trial or whatever we do end up getting. Okay, if we get that info. I hope we do. I'll be honest with you. Isn't it okay, Maricall, isn't that a little odd to you that they wouldn't want to look into everything leading up to that time frame, especially the prior 24 hours? Thank you, Jules. I agree. I absolutely agree. 100%. All right. I'm sure they looked into it, but that's not where their investigation led them. That was my thought. Okay, I gotcha. Where was the body cam footage of Banfield after 3:30 a.m.? That, well, there was body cam footage, if I remember correctly. Like I said, I got to go back because it's been a minute since we've done this, but I believe there was, Hash, and I will find it. Here's my problem. Per law enforcement, both surviving roommates summoned friends because they believed a second floor victim was passed out and wouldn't wake up. Per law enforcement, no clue there were bodies until law enforcement went in the house. And that's what we were told. And I've had a problem with that from the beginning. Okay. And this, again, this is something else that's just my opinion based on what we're told. That's where it comes from. You are absolutely correct, Sleuthy. Here's the thing. It doesn't match and it doesn't fit, and I'm not comfortable with it. I talked about this with Jules Saturday about this, okay? Which is what kicked this whole show off this week that we're probably going to be doing, because when I went and did the, now I'm just going to explain this because you haven't been in here before, Sleuthy, and I'll just explain to you my thought on this real quick, okay? For anybody else that's curious, you'll get to hear it too. So, I did a virtual tour of the house. We went through the entire house. There's absolutely no carpeting in this house. There's, you know, it's just standard drywall, whatever. There's an addition, blah, blah, blah. We went through the house. As me and Jules had talked about Saturday. If these two girls were in that house the whole 9 hours, did not leave, nothing. They didn't call 911. The first thing they did was contact their friends, which, again, we don't know the exact time that they called their friends either, folks, okay? It could have been directly after Dylan said she saw the bushy eyebrows. It could have been 3 hours. It could have been 4 hours, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours after that. We don't know that. So we don't know when everybody else ended up in the house. That's one point I want to make. and ended up over there. Okay. Secondly, as I said, there's no carpeting in this house. It's all faux hardwood floors, blah, 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 blah. If they were asleep, and me and Jules run pretty heavy into this, and we both made a point, because I have smelled this. I have smelled what blood smells like. I've smelled what death smells like. I've smelled Hello, 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 hello. Okay, can you guys hear me? I don't know how long this is going to last. There was an accident at the top of my road and it took my internet out. I don't know if they're going to take it down to fix it or what. I'm here. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Like I said, there was an accident up the road here. It clipped a pole, which I think took down the internet. So I don't know if it's going to stay in or if it's going to go in and out, guys. If it drops, that's what's going on. And if it does, I'll shut it down and I will come back on later on, okay? To finish it up if they have to tear it down completely, because sometimes I got to pull the lines to rerun them and all that kind of stuff. So my apologies for that, folks. I'm going to try to continue and hope that it stays on, okay? And thank you all for understanding and hanging out here and sticking around with us. This is insanity with this internet crap. I've had problems with my internet, but this is actually a real problem up the road here. So now, as I was saying at some point, so yeah, there are, as a body expires, it dumps what's inside of it, okay? There's that. There's the smell of blood after it sits for any period of time, and especially that much, it's got a horrible smell. And death in general, from the body, you can 9 hours, guys. There's smells. There's smells. There's smells. Okay. Yeah, my internet is horrible. It is horrible. I've gotten it fixed. I've gotten to the very top and gotten them to deal with things, but now there's an accident. So imagine that. You know, irony. So at that point, okay, back to what I was trying to say. The smells in the home are there. We know they're there. Everybody that's there. And again, as I was saying, there's no carpet in that house. So everything had to have been heard, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I may be wrong. Certain people may have been asleep and didn't hear everything. But as loud as it had to have gotten, I would think people would have woken up hearing that kind of thing. Okay. Mara says, I was actually shocked that none of the crime scene people had any kind of massive respirators on, to be honest. I never smelled it, but I assume it's bad. It's horrible. It is absolutely horrible. It would have been the very first thing their brains noticed when they opened their eyes. It would have overcame the smell. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Now, that being said, this is why I have such a huge problem with the 911 call, with calling people beforehand, so on and so forth, whatever. They're young. I get it. Maybe they were told to do certain scenarios, do certain things in certain scenarios. I get it. We are all raised almost the same way when it comes to situations like this with common sense, okay? And that being said, it made me wonder at some point. I was talking to somebody about this yesterday after we had talked about some of the stuff. And I've been telling you guys that the timeline is off for a while. I've never been comfortable with it. So what if the timeline is wrong? What if it's completely wrong? What if it didn't happen for whatever time it was? Someone said you can hear everything that goes on in a building. Guess you can't when you're drunk. I don't know. You would hear it, Donna. You would hear it. It would echo through unless it happened that way. Once again, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Sleuthy. What, guys, what if the timeline is completely wrong? I've been thinking about that for a while, and I haven't really put it out there because I'm going based on what we're given by PD. What if it's way off, like by hours? Because that would make way more sense, okay? Way more sense. Is there anything to prove? Now, the ME, the medical examiner, coroner, whatever, when they do their autopsies and so on and so forth, they can pretty much tell what time the body's expired to a roundabout period of time, okay? They should be able to. We haven't gotten anything like that from them at all. And once again, everybody, I'm not going down the rabbit hole. I'm not going into a conspiracy theory rant. And everything I say is alleged and speculative, purely. Okay. Rigor is complete in 6 to 8 hours. That's a fact, Jules. Mara says but can't they call time of death within an hour? That's what I was saying, within an hour or so, depending on the scenario. But yes, you're absolutely correct. Or are we thinking they're making it match their narrative? Okay, now, problem is they made the killer be inside that white Hyundai Elantra for seemingly zero reason in a tight 25-minute time frame. Thank you very much. And there is no reason to not assume the killer was on foot. And here we are. Thank you so very much, Sleuthy. We talked about this the other day, okay? Just because they have shoved this car down our throats, guys, does not mean that the person that did this was in that car. Okay? And I'm not saying that everybody believes that, okay? I'm just saying it just doesn't make any sense. Welcome, Mother. Good to see you here. Thanks for joining us today. It just doesn't make sense. None at all. So, again, none of this stuff fits, guys. So now what you need to do at some sense and some time of this is back up and go, okay, let's change this. Let's change the timeline. Let's change the timeline and certain scenarios to see if we can make it fit here and see if that makes sense then. Okay? You see what I'm saying? Not that, because we're not important. Nothing we say matters. They're not going to take anything to heart that we say, so it doesn't matter. For our own well-being and our own curiosities, let's do that and see what happens. Excuse me again. Somebody on foot sneaking in and out makes way more sense than a car. Yes, it does. I still have yet to see a single still shot of the Elantra because there are none. Why not add one in the PCA? I don't think there are any, to be honest with you. Or are you talking about from that night, or do you mean just in general? The coroner confirmed in an interview the autopsy was done 2 days after in Washington, so I don't believe they have a time of death. It's very possible. Very, very possible. Joel says, Sleuthy, that's right. If they have it on camera to add to the PCA, why not show us? Very possible. Very true. Very true. True. 100%. I mean, come on, guys. Also, Mara, I actually questioned that at first too. There's a little path that leads to the back of the house from the dead end on King, or even on the back on Walenta. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. There's. I'm trying to remember who did it, guys. They went to the house. It was Bryan Enton. He walked to the back of the house. He was showing us where Jack Decor lived. Okay, in the one interview he was doing, or one segment he was doing. He walked from the back and around the house and showed that he could walk. And I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying with what I'm saying. I'm just showing you that he showed different areas, okay, for the back parking lot, and then down around the back of the house, around the fence to the neighbor's house, to how you could walk right over from there to Decor's house. So there's different ways you could go through this, folks. And yeah, you're right, Jules. JLR did it too. Good to see you, Michelle. Welcome. Thanks for being here. It's good to have you here. Sorry. Bryan and JLR both have done it. I think Nancy, Nancy was there too. I agree. Also, I think Olivia and Betty were over there. They walked around there too. So there's so many different ways you can move around there. And understand that there's also the apartment building next door that Enan lived in. That's very close. You could very quickly walk into that building and disappear. Okay? You didn't necessarily have to be in that car. And I said that a long time ago. Where are we at? You can go from the roof. Crime Circus did it too. Yeah. Drip Drop, he did that. He did that too. Nancy Walsh. Oh, alrighty. That was good. That was good. Yes, Nancy walked. And yes, I think many people were shooketh on that one. No one parachuted down to the, let's not talk about that one, Jules. That I had to change the channel immediately. Yeah, nobody parachuted down onto the balcony. That one, that didn't happen. They did show a whole segment about how that could happen. That didn't happen, guys. Come on. There's windows that they could have went in and out of. There was multiple entrances and exits. I personally thought that they could have just went out the front door when they left, but I don't know. I don't, and I very, very comfortably could say that I think it would have been smarter and easier to be on foot at night, and it would have been a lot less conspicuous. Okay, because you could wear dark clothing and have blood all over you and not see 1 ounce of you having blood on you at night if it's dark enough. Okay, welcome, Sarah. Good to see you. I didn't see you earlier if you were in here. I'm sorry. Yes, Red, the Pixie Bikers possibly too. Could have been invited in. There's so many options, guys. This table is full. It has been full, and it's going to stay full until they get rid of everything themselves. Okay, and that's everybody blew that up and said there's no way that it was on foot, that they were on foot. Anybody would have seen somebody leaving covered in blood, blah, 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 blah. No, you wouldn't have. I don't believe there was a naked man running out of the house and down the road. I don't believe that. That definitely would have been seen. But it's very possible if you're wearing all black clothing and you could be covered in blood. Nobody would know, because blood, like water, just makes the black darker. Okay. So it's very, very possible that that person went right out the back door, the front door, walked around the house, whatever, and was not seen at all and could have been covered in blood. They very well could have walked out of that building, walked around, walked right into the apartment building next door, covered in blood, walked into an apartment, took their clothes off, bagged them up, got rid of them, and then your story. Or they could have walked to any one of the houses that are around. They could have walked to another road, got into another car. Any of this stuff could have happened, folks, but we don't really know. That's the problem with all of this, okay? And what was the temp at that hour? Doesn't look odd to be bundled up with a mask. I don't know, BBN, because a lot of people are still wearing. I've seen a lot of people still wearing masks, due to COVID and things like that at that time. So it's very possible that nobody really paid attention to that. Michelle Lee says, or Messenger 11, I'm sorry, says, I think they changed their clothing first. It could have happened. I was never comfortable with that because that's a time-consuming situation, okay? They've already, and we all know my feelings on the whole 9 minute, it took 9 minutes that it took to do this. I'd never agreed with that, but that's just me, okay? The girls were in hoodies and jackets at the food truck at 4 a.m. I can imagine the clothing with the mask wouldn't stand out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody, well, there was one guy there in shorts and a tank top. I don't get that, but most everybody else was dressed because it was cold. Jack Showalter had on a hoodie pulled up with a coat on, and he looked cold standing there, okay? And Maddie had on the oversized coat that belonged to somebody else, probably because she didn't have one when she went. Kaylee had on a hoodie. So yeah, it was cooler outside. It was cold. There was snow in the ground. It's always cold in Idaho. That's Molly. She'll tell you. It was 28 degrees. Thank you, Sleuthy, once again. I probably have that somewhere. I just don't have it right now. The dude with sunglasses guy who called himself Ethan, other white hoodie guy. The other white hoodie guy was Josh Showalter. Or the one of them was. The guy with sunglasses, I'm not 100% sure on who you're talking about. It was 28 degrees, so that's cold. So yes, a mask, that's, you know, even without COVID restrictions or anybody wearing masks to avoid that kind of stuff, it's still cold enough to have some kind of a mask on, okay? And not draw attention to it. I see what you were saying about the clothing and getting out. They would, however, be a mess, and it would be time, and it would be a time in a car for sure, getting a mess all over, maybe. Which would be so much easier to just walk somewhere and in that clothing, walk in and strip, drop it all in a garbage bag, and go burn it somewhere. Take a shower, put new clothes on, and nothing ever happened. Or, you know what I mean? It looks like nothing ever happened. The Banfield camera footage is about an hour before the time we are being told by Ellie the incident happened. Okay. Absolutely. It's 83 now. Well, that's good. At least your snow is finally melting out there in Idaho. Sure, did not give memory to Kaylee and Maddie in his speech, but in body cameras, he was in the house all the time. You're talking about Hunter Johnson, JX? Or Hunter Chapin? Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that so very much. We're in no hurry, guys. Like I said, this is going to take a few days, so just slow but sure. That way we cover everything. So what was the temp at that hour? Okay, we already did that one, BBN. Thank you. Good question. Let me move on to see if I missed anything else. Hunter the friend, Hunter Johnson. I don't know. I mean, it can be looked at as however you want. Hunter Johnson was Ethan's best friend, okay? And based on what we had been told, Hunter is the one that went into the house after he got called there, and he kind of decided that Ethan was deceased, okay? He found him. That's what we've been told. Is it true? I hope so, because that's what we were told, okay? So as far as that question goes, I can't really give a clear answer on that one. I'm sorry. Because I don't know what the scenario was. Some people had said that he was upset. This is a rumor. I don't like rumors. I'm just going to tell you what I heard that could mean something, but maybe not. That he was upset about Kaylee and Maddie and thinking that it was their fault that this happened to Ethan. And so he was just quiet about the scenario. I would like to think that's probably not true, guys. It is another rumor, as always, but I don't know, okay? I don't comprehend News Nation stating Hunter checked Ethan's pulse. I don't either. That line is not adding up to me with what we're being told it looked like in there. Correct. Correct. I would like to think that nobody went in that house until the police got there. But there's also a very large possibility, you guys, based on what we were told, what everybody thinks is that neither one of those girls that were survivors saw any of that until after everybody else got there. That's what we've all been kind of trained to think or to know. I have a hard time believing that, okay? I still think that they very well, both of them, could have gotten up in the middle of the night after she saw whoever left. I said this the other day. This is just an opinion of mine because I know that's probably what I would have done, and I would think most people would do. That as bushy eyebrows, whoever that is, left, and she went back in her room, she waited till she thought he was gone, and she came out and went and looked around the house, and that would be what I would do. That makes common sense to me, okay? And how do we know that that didn't happen? Only because they've told us that it didn't. I don't know. Okay, they both could have done something like that. Welcome, Deborah. Good to see you again. I got proof, Hunter Johnson. Shell? That's a bold accusation to make with no proof. It is, definitely. Hunter Johnson is a... Oh, wait a minute. I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Hunter Johnson is a lying predator of underage girls who used that house for a nefarious place to take advantage of young girls and boys. Whoever let him be there is my question. Wow. Okay. And you said, Michelle, you said you have proof of this. Okay. I've never heard that scenario before, or that accusation. That's crazy. Not that you said it's, I mean, it's a big accusation, you know what I mean? And that's kind of scary. So, okay. See, I felt, as I had just told you guys earlier, that when I said there'd be more subpoenas coming, I felt very possibly that Hunter would be one getting one because he was in that house and because he, you know, supposedly was the one that found Ethan, blah, blah, blah. So that's what I was meaning by that. That and other people that were brought to the house by phone call before police should be, or I would think are going to get subpoenaed as well as witnesses to certain scenarios. Okay. What Michelle or I'm sorry, I keep calling you that because I know your name, dear. I'm sorry. Messenger 11 said is that, you know, that's pretty serious. Really serious, actually. That's a strong accusation for sure. Yeah, I would definitely be sending that off. If you have proof of that, Michelle, please make sure you send that off to the police over there, because that's okay. Good, because it's hard not to once I know your name. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's some serious stuff. I would definitely send that to the police if you have like real proof of that. That's crazy and sad, considering that that's a whole other situation on top of these kids that are deceased now. Unless it's completely involved with it somehow. Who knows? I don't know. But if there's real proof of it, put it there. Give it to the cops. Let them deal with it. Please, because we don't want somebody like that out and about if it's somebody that does stuff like that, you know. If Hunter is not brought to court for this, I am sending a lot to police. And oh yes, more than that too. Okay. Oh, that's good. That's definitely good. Not police. They do nothing. Defense, rather. Jules says, if you have proof of a pedo on the street, why are you waiting? Okay, good point. I am sending it to them anyway. Yes, you are right. It is going today after what I know. Okay. Well, then, that was interesting. I did not know anything about that, Michelle. Nothing. I mean, I found it odd that he went into the house and he did what he did. I thought that was a little off, but you know, that was my thought on the whole thing. But that's a whole new bowl of cherries there. I had no idea about that. I'm curious. Messenger 11, have you seen the written report from Banfield? That's a good point. Good point. I have a lot to get together for MPD today. It is bad. Yeah. Okay. Is it all involving that one scenario, Michelle, or the whole thing all together? I see you, Mama Bear. I need the written report okay. Here, let me put that up so she can see it better, just in case. It is involving many scenarios. Okay. Okay. Good deal. Well, I mean, you know, if you're sending it off to PD, that's the right thing to do. And, you know, if there's anything horrible going on, you can put a stop to it that way. So you wait a minute, 1 second. So you haven't seen it. There's a specific reason I ask. Okay. I need to pull all the ways together. Gotcha. And Molly says, if I have anything you need, Messenger 11, just let me know. That goes for any of us. If it's that serious, Michelle, and any of us in here have anything that you need to send something for, you know, let us know. And we'll bring all of our stuff together if you need anything. We have quite a bit. So just, you know, I don't know what the scenario, the whole deal is, you know, I'm sure we'll find out eventually, but, you know, if it's to help something and, you know, get something like that off the street, or if it's a real scenario that's bad, then, you know, we all want to help to stop that, obviously. The issue is the parents and the protection there is there with this one. I have a feeling this is going to be tricky with this one. Thanks, Molly. You're talking about Johnson's parents? I have heard about that there's money behind that family or some sense like that, but I don't know for sure. Are you guys hearing me okay? I just said one moment, folks. Well, I'm sorry about that. All right, guys. Sorry, everybody. My son just walked in from school. I had to say something to him real quick. Yes, the parents will fight your claims. That's most probably what. Good Lord. One moment, folks. Make sure this. Okay, that was not a call for us. Sorry about that. Sorry, my phone is so loud as well. Okay. Sleuthy says, interesting because there was, in fact, a kid named Ethan as one of the 3 in the Banfield stop. Really? Wow. That is interesting. Okay, Sleuthy has the report. I would love to have that report if you don't mind, Sleuthy. I'd love to see that. And if not, absolutely no problem. I just, if you're, gonna, would be offering it to send, I would love to have it, to be honest with you. And thanks for the info on the Shoops. Loud and clear. You're welcome, Messenger. Peaches in Georgia. If I didn't say welcome, it's welcome. Welcome. It's good to have you here. Sorry, guys. I need that for clarification on the time and comparison on info, kids, and cops. Okay. All right. So are we going to refer now to the runners at the stop or behind the stop? Does that have something to do with what we're talking about at this point? I know that there's a little bit of, we're keeping it kind of quiet here. I just want to make sure that I know what's going on too. That's all. So if she's never seen the report, it's interesting to me that she called one of them Ethan. Okay, gotcha. The Hunter kid looks identical to one of in the field stop. That's true too, Red. Okay, I see what. So how did you know that was? If you hadn't seen the report, Michelle, how did you know that was Ethan or the person's name was Ethan? Yeah, Jules, I would like to see it too. By the way, would either of you or any of you like to come on panel here with me to talk? It might be easier than the typing and stuff like that. I have no qualms having anybody up here. I can hold 10 people. I don't want that, but Sleuthy or Jules or anybody, would you like to come up here to just be able to talk instead of having to type everything like that? Because you're more than welcome. Molly says, and one of them was also in one of the body cam videos at 11:22, King with KG. Okay. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that so very much, sis. We've missed you. Does he state his name in the body cam video? I feel like some stuff was beeped out, and I think it was too. I think they did beep out like birth dates and social security numbers, addresses, and phone numbers, stuff like that. Does he state it? Messenger. The kid said Ethan in the audio of the body cam. Okay. I have the timeline of the lights on, lights out at Banfield 2. I have that here somewhere too. Yes, he stated Ethan. Yes. Oh, I see. I was pretty sure they beeped their names out. I thought they did too at that one point. That's what Jules had said, that they were beeping some stuff out. Yeah, I thought so because we watched that video a few times. I thought they did beep the names out. Okay, I see now. Sorry, no problems. Jerry, welcome. Kelly, welcome. In one of the law enforcement body cam videos from that night, that isn't bleeped out, but you can hear that his name is Ethan. Okay, we can go back and find that and watch that to be sure of that, guys. That's no problem. I don't want there to be, you know, an issue with anything like that. Again, Kelly and Jerry, welcome to both of you. Before they scrubbed it, maybe, but I saw a video where he states Ethan. Okay, Jerry just said that you can hear his name is Ethan. Okay. We're talking about the Banfield video, correct? Just give me one moment then, guys, because at this point, if it's not there, it's not there. Let me see if I can still find it here because I had it too. So are you saying that it was really Hunter Johnson in this body cam and he was telling the cop he was Ethan? I'm trying to follow. Okay.